Good morning, everyone, to Marketing Matters. I'm Sarah Touchstone, Landmark Titles, social media marketing strategist and educator, bringing you all things that matter in your marketing business every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Yes, we do Marketing Matters every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And we have the pleasure of bringing on amazing guests and not only just covering marketing topics, but covering topics that are going to pertain to your real estate business. Because if you're not covering all your basics, you don't have a business to market. So today, we brought on Tom Hartsock of Micronet Technical Services, because I was telling him earlier, I actually, in this past week, I've gotten a lot of questions when it comes to security, cybersecurity, and protecting my passwords. I talked with an agent earlier this week, and he was going through the process. He had to get into one of his social media accounts, but because so many other of his accounts were linked to that one account, he had to go and re-log in and do new passwords for a barrage of different accounts. So he started talking about, he's like, this is such a pain. This is an issue. You know, there's all kinds of information that's leaked out about, things that might happen in war times. So he specifically said, can you bring somebody on Marketing Matters that can help us to navigate the security features and kind of what's going on? And I said, I got a guy. I got the perfect guy for that. And that guy is Tom. So Tom, I'm going to let you take it away. Please give us a little bit of background about yourself, and please let us know what are the best ways that real estate agents in particular can make sure that they are, because they are online all the time. We've got a lot of information out there. So I'm going to hand the reins over to you. And then I didn't know if you have, if you wanted to screen share or you have a presentation, but you are a co-host, so you have control now.
Awesome. So let me give you a little background on myself, just to start with. I actually started in the corporate world many years ago. Did that for, I don't know, probably 10 years, and decided to start Micronet in 2000. And we got started kind of during the Y2K thing. And we started by auditing banks for the whole Y2K thing. That's kind of how we got our start. And now we pretty much, me coming from an IT background, I worked for, larger and larger companies over my career in the corporate world. And now I pretty much act as an IT department for my clients. They're just smaller clients, that's all. They have one or two computers all the way up to, I think our largest client probably has 80 or 90 computers across the country in multiple locations. So that's kind of my background. Originally, I had thought about talking about just about passwords, but I think I'm going to expand it a little bit and talk about kind of the whole security for a home office, because I think most of you guys out there are working from home, at least part of the time, probably most of the time, at least the realtors I know. They have a broker, so they may connect to the office, but they work from home for the most part, maybe on a laptop or desktop, whatever. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about. Let me see if I can share my screen so you guys can see. Let's see that one. Think. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Absolutely.
The one that says Micronet on it. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started here. So let's talk about securing a small office or home office and the things that you guys can do yourselves without an IT department. So why would you want to do this? You say, I'm just a little guy. Who's going to target me? Well, the fact of the matter is, over the last probably year, 2 years, they've been targeting smaller and smaller companies. And the reason is because the small guys are easy prey. They're just as likely to have important files that they can't live without, but they're less likely to have an appropriate backup system. So if they hit you with a ransomware attack, you're more likely to pay, maybe a few $1,000s to get your files back, as opposed to going through the huge hassle of doing it yourself. Or maybe you don't even have the option to do that. And what really surprised me, I started searching into ransomware as a service on the dark web about a year ago. And you can literally buy ransomware as a service online and target whoever you want to. It's crazy that that stuff even exists. Not terribly legal, but it's out there.
Well, if you want to find it, the internet will have it.
It's there. Yep. So how can you secure yourself? So there's really a handful of things that you really want to be doing. Use a firewall, keep all your software up to date, use antivirus and anti-malware software. Of course, use strong passwords. Think before you click on stuff, and absolutely have a backup solution in place. So let's talk about these one at a time. A firewall, there's some features of the firewall that make it a firewall. And those are that they actually inspect the contents of each little packet that comes across, and it can act on those accordingly. It'll do threat prevention, has the ability to block unsolicited traffic, and actually protect your Wi-Fi network. Most home networks actually use their Wi-Fi more than a cable network just because it's easier. So Wi-Fi protection is important. They come in two basic flavors. There's either a software or a hardware firewall. We always recommend hardware because software firewalls are going to run on your machine, whether it be a laptop or desktop, excuse me, and that's really going to drag that machine down. You've already got enough stuff running on the thing. The last thing you need to do is slow it down for, to use it as a firewall. And one of the questions I get is, wait a minute, I just spent $200 on a Netgear router from Best Buy. That must be a firewall. Well, they kind of advertise themselves as firewalls, but they really have very few actual firewall features. They're more concerned about the throughput that they'll give you in your Wi-Fi network than actually securing your network. And another thing I should point out is an improperly configured Wi-Fi or firewall may be worse than none at all. So if you guys need help configuring a firewall, please get the assistance of somebody that knows about them to actually help you do that. The rest of the stuff in my list here, you could probably do yourself. Keep all your software up to date. Why would you want to do that? It's a huge hassle. You guys probably get little pop-ups all the time. Your antivirus software is out of date. You want to update it now. Well, you've always got something else to do. Click later. And 3 months later, you're in the same position you were 3 months ago. Why would you update them? More than likely, you're going to update software because of new features, maybe bug fixes or performance enhancements of some kind. That's why people actually update their software. Why they should update their software is for security reasons. Bad actors actually exploit holes in not only Windows, but Office, any kind of desktop applications. Those all have holes that hackers can exploit and get into your system. So keep all this stuff up to date. Windows, most of this stuff is done automatically. Antivirus and anti-malware software, there's stuff built into them so that it automatically does it. But speaking of antivirus and anti-malware, why would you want that? Well, it can be something as simple as slowing down your computer. It's not very terribly invasive. Or it can do things much more invasive like, delete or replace files, give themselves access to your system. Maybe watch what you're doing, when you're logging into your Wells Fargo account and they're watching you, they can get your username and password and boom, they've got your wealth just like that. This usually happens as a result of, some kind of virus or malware attack. So get some antivirus software, keep it updated, and run scans every single day. Run them at 3 o'clock in the morning if you have to, but absolutely schedule this stuff to update and run in the middle of the night. And that's something that most antivirus softwares do not automatically do. You actually have to go in there and tell it to update and scan every day. Next thing, strong passwords. As you guys know, passwords are kind of your first line of defense against hackers. There are password crackers out there. I wish I could do a little show of hands here. How many people have lost their Windows password and haven't been able to log in? Well, all you need to do is Google lost Windows password, and there will be tons of stuff out there to show you how to recover your password. And if you can do it, somebody else can do it as well. And boom, they can get into your system. So have a strong password, which is at least 8 characters long and complex. Complex means that it has at least 3 of the 4 types of groups. You got your capital letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. It has to have at least one of those. And they're even starting to recommend towards 8, or not 8 characters, but 10 characters at this point. So absolutely make those strong passwords. And we all have 50 different websites that we log into. Do not use the same password for every one of them. It's a hassle to keep, a bunch of different passwords and remember them, but it is important. You guys are probably aware of the Colonial pipeline breach that occurred, what was it, a year or 2 ago, that shut down the East Coast pipeline. That actually occurred. Well, there was multiple reasons for it. One, their entire network was available to the internet, so anybody could attempt to log on. But they had unused accounts that were no longer necessary, that were not deactivated. So there was a guy whose username was still activated, but he no longer was with the company. And what happened was he lost his password as a result of another breach. And they were able to match up the usernames from the other breach to the usernames that existed on the Colonial Pipelines network. And they were able to log in as this guy. And they basically had, whatever access that this guy had on the Colonial network. So that's a huge problem. Also, don't write your passwords down. I cannot tell you how many times I have looked under keyboards and mouse pads, and there's a piece of tape with a password written on it. I've even seen Post-it notes stuck to a monitor that have passwords written down on them. Please don't do that. Why even have a password if you're going to do that? And change them periodically. Again, breaches happen all the time. You hear about them in the news. That's how they get passwords. If you're constantly changing them, it's not going to make any difference if there's a breach or not. The rest of your stuff is not breached. So passwords are incredibly important. Another thing is think before you click. I can't tell you how many people just blindly click on stuff that they receive in emails, on websites. They just click. Oh, this looks like fun. Let's click on this. Most ransomware attacks occur as some sort of phishing attack. That's basically where they throw a hook out and see how many people grab onto it. Now they're even becoming more sophisticated. They're called spear phishing attacks. And they'll go out to Facebook and all these different social media, get just enough information about you to send you, some sort of email that looks like it's from your boss, from your friend, somebody on Facebook. You just assume it's from them, click, and you've been hacked. And you guys actually have the tools to be informed about this stuff. You just need to use them. In order to do that, you need to know a little bit about the URL. Actually, the only thing you need to know is the domain. And in this case, micronetservices.com, that's our domain. All the garbage in front of it and all the garbage to the right of the domain is really irrelevant in this case. But there are a few gotchas. Take a look at the green micronetservices.com there. That's our actual domain name. The red one just to the right of that, notice that there's a little tick above the E in services. That's not our domain name. And you can actually create domain names that look just like an official domain name, but they're really not, and they'll send you elsewhere. So when I say think before you click, what you want to do is you want to hold your mouse over the top of a link, for example, in an email. This works in a browser as well. And when you hold your mouse over a link, a little pop-up will display and show you the actual URL that it's going to go to. Notice down there at the bottom where it says, open this link, venmo.com/whatever. That's kind of to fool you that you're actually going to go to venmo.com. If you hold your mouse over the top of that and it shows you the link that it goes to, notice this says vimo.com. That's something very different. And boom, you can get hit with ransomware just as a result of clicking on that link. So just because it says this is the URL it's going to go to, that's not it. Hold your mouse over the top of it and it will show you. Here's a perfect example. I received an email and it looks like it came from DHL. It's got their logo on there. It uses their same colors. It looks like an email from DHL. But if you look at the from email address, it's coming, it's kind of trying to fool you with the no reply.dhl there. But the domain it's coming from is tongalloy-jp.icu. What is that? That's got nothing to do with DHL. So it probably didn't come from them. I know it didn't come from them. Also, if you look at the link down there, the click here to confirm your delivery details, if you hold your mouse over the top of that, you see that little window that pops up. And if you find the domain in there, it's actually sendgrid.net. That probably doesn't have anything to do with DHL. That could very well be a, some sort of virus or worse, So think before you click. There's an example of a good one. Notice that it came from intuit.com and the link goes back to intuit.com. That's probably legit. And the last thing that's important is having a backup solution. You can do everything that you can possibly do. Even IT guys, have firewalls and do all this stuff we talked about. Viruses get through, ransomware gets through. And your last line of defense is a backup solution, not just backup stuff running on your machine. There's lots of things out there that say, oh, set it and forget it. That's a marketing slogan. It's not a strategy. So I guarantee, like they say, there's two kinds of people out there, those that have lost data and those that will lose data. So prepare for losing your data. There's a couple of different backup schemes. There's backup schemes made for disaster recovery, and there's those made for archiving. Those are very different. They have different goals. They have different purposes. So you kind of need to think about all this stuff before you actually do a backup solution. We believe in something called the 3-2-1 backup strategy. That's basically having 3 backups, 2 of which are on site on 2 different media, and 1 of them is offsite. Years ago, you used to just take a USB drive and have the secretary take it home once a day. There's lots of problems with that. So the cloud is much better for this kind of thing. So that's kind of what we recommend there, is having 1 in the cloud. And of course, like everything else in life, there is a risk-reward trade-off. If you've got local backups, those are great, but they can be stolen. They can be damaged by fire, flood. They can be corrupted by ransomware. The way ransomware works is it goes and encrypts your files. And if you're infected with a ransomware attack and don't know it. Worse yet, your backup solution doesn't know it, and it runs another backup before you've had something to had a chance to fix it. Your backup software is going to override a good backup with an infected backup. So, we recommend using backup software that actually has ransomware protection. It'll do a ransomware test to kind of make an educated guess whether there's ransomware on your machine before it backs up. If it thinks there is, it literally will not back it up until you've confirmed one way or the other. And the last thing is test your backups. Just because you've got a backup that's been running for 6 months doesn't mean it actually works. Periodically, you need to actually restore a file to make sure it's working. And that's one of the things we do for our clients is, manage their backups, make sure that they're actually functioning, test them, that kind of stuff. So if I leave you with one thing today, it's have a backup solution of all this stuff. Passwords important, all this other stuff is important, but have a backup solution just in case. So here's my shameless plug on Micronet. We basically, like I said before, we act as our client's IT department. We do everything that a typical large IT department does. We just do it for smaller clients. That's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer those questions. And if you guys actually need some help with IT, feel free to give me a call or send me an email.
All right, guys, any questions? I mean, I know that there are several things on that list that I'm always telling myself, like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. I mean, I've had external hard drives before that back up my information, and I'm just going to say I've had them break before and given them to the wrong IT people to get stuff off of. And now I have information that is gone. So I think I'm going to say this out loud too, because I know Tom will hold me accountable, but I am definitely one of those candidates to get some more backup on the information that I have. I mean, I have a couple of laptops and I don't even share the information that I have like on my work laptop and, anywhere else. Like, I can't even remember the last time that I even backed up some of my information on anything. So Tom, I'm saying it out loud because I am one of those candidates that needs to do what they tell everyone else to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I hate to do show of hands, of all the stupid things that people do, because then it kind of opens you up.
Well, and I think a lot of times too, especially with real estate agents, they wear so many hats and they get so busy and they're constantly trying to, fill all the categories that they do because they are their small business. They are doing everything.
Yep.
So I think a lot of times we do just forget about some of the details. Like for me, I am lucky because I work at a great landmark title and, I have a corporate laptop where all of that stuff is installed for me. All of this is, except for, maybe backing up, my files and whatnot, everything else, I don't have to worry about that. However, when you are an entrepreneur, when you're an independent contractor, those same options aren't necessarily there for you. So it is one of those things. There's a lot of things to remember, guys, but this is a really, really important thing, a really important part of, component of your business that you need to just spend some time on and think about. Becky was saying on her phone, sometimes it's really hard to see the actual email address. Tom, can you go ahead and put your information in the chat window for everyone? And guys, if you have any questions regarding this, like what is the best software for this? What is what are the real to-dos that you need to be doing? Just reach out to Tom. He is awesome. He's in my BNI group. And so I get the pleasure of basically meeting with him every single week. and hearing about the things that go on and the stories. And don't become one of Tom's stories. Well, become one of his success stories. Let's go with that.
IT guys are like attorneys. They have great stories.
Yeah, I deal with drama, which,
I wanted to mention one thing about, you mentioned that you had a laptop and you connect to your business's network. When you do that, probably through a VPN, your laptop is literally on their network and you are secured as if you are on their network. When you disconnect from that VPN, you're no longer on their network. You're on your own network. So you are open to attacks just like everybody else is when you disconnect from that VPN. So be aware of that.
And these are the things, like I said, it is mind-boggling how much we just take everything working for granted until it doesn't. And then we'll panic and then we call Tom. So save Tom's number.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have to kind of think like a nerd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking like a nerd's not the same for me as like thinking like a nerd all the time, Tom.
Yeah.
All right. Well, please, like I said, if you guys have any other questions, I'm going to go over some of the classes that we have coming up too. So if you guys have any questions that you want to throw up there for Tom, let us know. I'm going to go over just some of the other classes we have coming up. So we do have our monthly CE class coming up tomorrow. This is for 3 hours of NAR Code of Ethics. So this goes for commissioner standards as well as Code of Ethics. So if you need either of those credits, Mike and Sally Litico do a great class. We still have a few spots available. Make sure you sign up, pay. It's only $10. And the great thing is that, like I said, if you follow our CE class schedule, you will get done with all of your credits within a year. I set it up specifically to make sure that we cover every single credit that you could need, and you will be done with all of these within the year. So get on there, let me know, or let your business development manager know if you would like the link for that. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Then you guys know we talk a lot about the GIFs. They are super fun. They are super creative. And once you've updated all of your software and all of your passwords, you can get in and you can use these on your social media. So if you guys want some of these, Patty and Michael are hosting an event tomorrow. It's all day. So please don't tell me that you don't have time to go get these made if this is something that you want to do. It's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this is going to be at the Nova Home Loans Scottsdale office. So if you would like more information about that, reach out to Patty and Michael and pop in tomorrow. These are super fun. And these events are always, they're just great, not only to get your marketing material, but they're just enjoyable to see people again. And then, oh my gosh, if you want to use your gifts, we are going to do a Zoom class. This is going to be next Monday. So you got your gifts. Now let's start using them. We're going to go over downloading, posting on your story, and creating social media marketing using this really unique and fun branding. So that's going to be next Monday at 10 a.m. If you want the link, reach out. Melinda's hosting this, and we will get you that. Then I've got a couple of reel classes coming up. You guys know that I love reels. If y'all follow me on social media, I'm always getting on there, doing something fun, doing something creative. But the great thing about reels is that they expand your sphere, and we're all trying to expand our sphere, right? So come to one of these reels classes. We found that they work best in person. So on Tuesday next week, I'm going to be heading up to our Prescott office. I know we've been getting a lot of Prescott agents on Marketing Matters. And guess what, guys? You're going to get these classes live and in person starting next week. So make sure that you reach out to Michelle, register for that, and I will see you in Prescott on Tuesday. And then for our Valley agents, we will also be doing the Reels class. This one's going to be at the Phoenix Realtor Association, their new location. You don't have to be a member to join this class. So please come by if you are, like I said, if you're a Phoenix agent, you haven't made it to one of our Rails classes yet, I guarantee we will have fun and you will start creating content. That's the goal here. So reach out to Mary. She's hosting this. Mary was also, she's the featured vendor or featured affiliate. That's it. That's the right word. She's the featured affiliate this year at the Phoenix Realtors Association. So we're super excited that they want to continue to bring her in and work with her. So come out and support. And then, like I said, we've got our March CE class coming up. And then next month, we wrap up our spring season with employment agreements. This is going to be contract law on April 21st. I put this on here so that I can promote for months in advance that it is also my birthday. Just let you all know, for a birthday present, I'd like you all to be in CE classes with me. And that's it for us today, guys. So thank you, Tom, for coming on. Like I said, there's so much of those things that I already kind of know, and I kind of push off to the side and say, I'll do later, I'll do later, I'll do later. But I know that anytime we do a class like this, it is a great reminder that the time to do these things is now, right now, like as soon as we get off, figure it out. So I really appreciate you coming on today.
Oh, can I address Becky's question here real quick?
Of course.
Becky had a question about cell phones. Sometimes it's hard to see the email address of the sender. Unfortunately, cell phones don't have a mouse that you can hover over an address. So kind of the only way you can do that is click on their name or their email address, and it will start a new message. And from there, you can see the email address that it came from. But if you're concerned that an email is bogus based on its content or whatever, I had a company call me just a couple weeks ago where an email address had got hacked. Somebody had actually logged in with their password, got in, and what they did was they sent out, an email to all of their contacts that had a virus on the thing. And one of the things they did was created a rule so that any new messages coming in were forwarded to the hacker. So if you would have replied to that email saying, hey, is this a legitimate email? This looks like spam. They could have set something up to automatically respond to say, oh yeah, this is an email. Yeah, go ahead and click on it.
Whoa.
That's one of the ways they get you. So if you think it might be spam, it probably is. Go old school, give them a call.
Jeez. Well, yeah, just always be on your toes.
Yeah.
So that was a good question, Becky. Thank you. All right, we're going to wrap it up today, guys. But like I said, if you have any other questions, please reach out to Tom. And if you're getting the copy of this recording too, just reach out to any of your business development managers for more information. We have a great business development management team here. They love working with you. They love holding you accountable. So if you are like me and you're like, I know I need to do this, you can tell them that you need to do this and they'll remind you, just like I told Tom that I need to do this. So thank you to Beth, Becky, Melinda, Mary, Patty, Michelle, Evan Prescott, and Michael. You all are awesome. Reach out to them for anything that you need. Also, reach out to our escrow offices for any of your title and escrow needs. We have 7 across the valley, as well as 1 in Prescott. So we are there for anything you need. We have an amazing team. We would love to work with you on your next escrow. So that's it for us today, guys. I will see you all on the CE class tomorrow, right? And then I will see you next week on Marketing Matters, same time, same place. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.